Scammed on eBay? Today we're going to talk about the number one thing you should do first before you do anything else. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about scams on eBay. There's a ton of them. We are fast approaching the busiest time of the year for scammers, which is fourth quarter, October, November, and December. All the scammers come out of the woodwork for Christmas time. It's the biggest, best time of the year for them to be able to scam. There's so many other sales going on. A lot of people may miss some of the scams that they are doing. Scammers in general will be on both sides of the game. There'll be buyers and they will be sellers as well. So if you're doing any sort of business, or you're buying or selling on the platform, this Christmas season is going to be probably one of the worst for scammers. A lot of people are unemployed and things like that, and there'll be much more opportunity and need for people to scam, it seems. Every year it gets a little worse for wear when it comes to scammers. We buy gifts and things as well as collectibles that we personally collect, as well as obviously we do sell full-time on eBay as well. If you have an injury, you're wounded or something, the first thing you want to do is either stop the bleeding or take care of the injury before you do anything else. If you're bleeding or something, you got to take care of that first before you rush yourself to the emergency room, because you could bleed to death by the time you get there. Same basic principle with eBay. The wound at this point would be the scammer. And what you need to go in and do immediately, the minute you realize you've been scammed, is to go and block that person. Blocked bidders list. It will stop them from being able to bid on any more of your items or buy anything from your store. So this is the blocked bidders list. You've got several options. The middle option here will give you a list that you can add to of your blocked people. To get to the blocked bidder section, you will have to either go from the hub from your shortcuts or simply do a search for blocked bidder list if you don't have a store and the hub. Once you open this up, you're going to get this section here, blocked bidders buyer list. Just click here. It's going to open this up, and then from there, all you got to do is add another name. Hit a comma and then cut and paste the person's name and then submit. That's all there is to it. You can see I've got quite a few on my list. It's going to tell you it worked, it's updated it, and any other information that may come up. If it fails, it will tell you that as well. This is a feature I always recommend using. It will solve a lot of issues here. Block them. If somebody cancels a listing after the first 24 hours, I always block them as well, because it costs me the watchers on that item, and then I have to go roundabout, relist, and the whole works. So if somebody cancels after that, that is something I do as well. This is literally the first thing I do before I even contact eBay. If I am buying from somebody or selling, I will put them on that same blocked bidders list. It will prevent them from emailing me as well if you go and check another feature in there, which we'll show you in just a minute here. Always do that. Now, to get to the other part where you're actually going to block them from emailing you, you are just going to go to Site Preferences. And if you slide down, you're going to see a little tab here that says Buyer Requirements. Now, all we got to do is hit the Edit, and it's going to open up this page here. Down at the bottom, you'll see Don't Allow Blocked Buyers to Contact Me. Now, if you are still dealing with a transaction with that buyer, they can still contact you until everything is closed from that case. Even if the issue has temporarily been done, they can reopen the case, they can state some other issue, and actually still revive that case in some cases. That means they can still contact you until that is totally done and there's nothing else they can do. Just FYI. There are some other good features in here. Buyers with unpaid item strikes, I block those too. So if they have 2 unpaid item strikes within a month, they can't bid on my items. I also blocked buyers who are not in locations that I do not ship to. So if you're getting all kinds of weird offers and you've set up a business policy, people can still send you offers and things, or even buy some things, even though you technically don't ship to that area. The only way to officially block them is to click this one here where it says buyers and locations to which I don't ship to. That is a key one that I would recommend everybody looking into and marking down. I also block one more, buyers with a negative feedback score. So if they hit a -1, I automatically don't deal with them. I don't worry if they have 0 feedback, because everybody starts at some point, and there's always opportunity for someone to be new hopping on there. That is not a factor that says somebody's going to rip you off. I get 0 feedback people probably at least once or twice a week, every single week of the year, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. You may forget in the future that there was some issue with this person. You may buy or deal with them again, or sell them something in the future as well. I block any opportunity to contact or be involved with these people once they have scammed me once. It only takes once and it's done. Blocked, and move on from there. If you don't put them on the blocked bidders list, and this case is decided in their favor with eBay, or it takes weeks to decide a result based on whatever the situation or issue was, eBay may not do anything to them. Your only recourse in these cases is to block them immediately. That way no other transactions can go on with these people. No more injuries or further harm to your business can happen once they've been blocked like this. And I say that as well, even if you're buying from somebody, if you bought from somebody and you had a bad experience and you're also a seller, you leave bad feedback, they may try and buy something from you in the future just to be able to ding your account as well. I've seen it before, so it is something that happens. So due diligence is obviously the most important aspect, but once that scam comes in, once something happens, block them immediately. It'll stop any further issues with your account. Next step, obviously, is to report it to eBay and then move on from there with whatever action you're able to take. But again, that's not going to stop them from buying another item until you block them or eBay does something with them. Again, if this is one of those cases where it's a he said, she said, eBay may not be able to decide, and at the end of the day, blocking them is your best recourse, because they could just buy something from you again and do the exact same thing. So just always be cautious with this. Fourth quarter is the time when all of these sorts of things happen. It's the worst time. And again, as I said, this is going to be the worst year for this sort of thing. There's a lot of people unemployed right now with the pandemic. There's a lot of other stuff going on as well. Scammers will be scammers, and they will try to take advantage of you in any way they can. Block them and move on. Now, the amount of scam transactions is very small, but every year we buy a couple dozen items, and every year at least one of those transactions, my purchases, is a scam. We had once before a PS3 should have been delivered, and it was a bunch of bricks. We ordered the item, it came in from Hawaii, believe it or not, and that's what showed up on our behalf. The person had multiple feedbacks. They've been on for 2 or 3 years. So, you never know at what aspect that could happen. Somebody may be in dire need in the future. They may have had a perfect record with eBay, then all of a sudden needed some money for some basic issue, and that's when a scam can come in. So your due diligence is incredibly important running into fourth quarter. If you're buying from somebody, buy from somebody with the best feedback for that type of item as you can find. Sellers, the same thing. I do try to look at feedback before I accept offers, for example. If they've got a ton of bad feedback, I'll probably decline the offer and possibly block them if they're for similar issues. Just something to be cautious of when you're doing business out there. Now, one thing I don't do that many people always seem to recommend is if the person has 0 feedback, don't allow them to bid or anything on your items. I don't block somebody from having 0 feedback. If they have negatives, though, I do block them from the ability to bid or do anything with our auctions if they have negatives. Or if a buyer has so many unpaid item strikes within a 30-day period, we will block those folks as well. So those are key areas that I always look at and things to always take into consideration when you're doing this. Again, one more time, always block them first. That is your first line of defense from future attacks by those same people. But that's what I have for you today. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
never gonna swing this. That little hand of hers is bound to sneak over here for some of my candy. It'd be more of a drag, though, if this was just one bar, but almond joy is 2 pieces. I know that hand's coming over any minute, and whatever happens, I still get a whole thing of chocolate, coconut, and almonds to myself. Enjoy it, baby.
Peter Paul Almond Joy. You can share half and still have a whole.